Hello everyone. Welcome back. Here is Mr. Seif, the science teacher of the 5th primary stage. Today we're going to be starting really interesting topic, which is plants. Before we get started on our today's topic, I need you to take a look here because I have really important question to ask at the beginning. Why should we study plants? Is it something important for our world? Is it important for us? Just think about it. Which word do you prefer? Is it this one or this one? You might be thinking about this one, but you have to keep in mind, this word is beautiful, full of animals, full of life, full of oxygen, because we have plants. And this word you didn't like because actually no animals, no plants, because actually no life requirements there. There is no life. So the plant is important for us because it gives us the oxygen as living organisms. The oxygen, the gas that we breathe as human, the animals need the oxygen to breathe, is coming from plants. That's the first thing. The second thing that you have to keep in mind, the plant is considered the food for many animals. Many kinds of animals need the plants, vegetables, fruits to eat. That's their main resource of life. That's what they can eat. Because some animals, like what you see there, depend on plants in their feeding. So this is why we're gonna study plants, to keep them alive and also to know how to answer all questions in our first topic. Let's get started. Let's start our first game. Our first game going to be labeling. We need to label the parts of plants. If we need to study plants, we need to label the parts. We need to recognize the parts of plants. So in front of you here, plant, and here is a word bank for you. It could be suitable guide to know the names of each part. Around the plant here, you have these parts. You need just to drag the suitable part and match it with its correct location. Let's start by the first one. Okay. So what do you think going to be here? Is it fruit, leaf, stem, flower, or roots? Which one? I guess that's a green part of the plant, so it might be, yes, this one, leaf. You need to drag this one and put it here. Perfect. The next part is this. So which one of these chords there belong to this location? Is it roots, flower, stem, or fruit? This part. I guess you catch it right. If it's the flower, your answer is correct. This one. Kindly take a look deeply to see the arrow. It begins here at this part. The arrow begins here at this fruit. So this is gonna be the fruit. You need just to drag it here like that. The upcoming part, which is here. What do you think is the part of the plant that found in the soil underground? You have just two choices here. Is it the stem or the roots? What do you think the name of the part of the plant underground? Amazing. Roots. Perfect. And the last part there going to be the stem. Thank you so much. You did a great job in the previous activity, and now we have another game. But in this game we need to select the plant needs. What do you think the plant needs from all of these items? Does the plant need them all? Are they all useful for plant or just some of them? Let's think about them together. Okay, I guess if the plant needs anything here, it could be the water, mainly. That's the first thing we have to think about. Water, because it's a living organism. Okay, what else do you think the plant needs? Okay, the plant needs, I guess you are not looking for the burger sandwich, and you might not be thinking about the juice right now, but you might be thinking about sunlight. The plant needs the sun. because the plant makes its own food by a process known as photosynthesis process. The photosynthesis process, it's the process by which the plant makes its own food. So the plant needs sun and it needs water. What else? I guess you might be looking there for the air. This is the third plant needs here. And definitely soil and nutrients. These are the main items that the plant needs for growing, for staying alive. And you might not be thinking about the burger sandwich. I know it's delicious, but not for the plant. You might not be thinking about the juice. It's not a plant need. The donuts as well, it's completely wrong. Eggs as well, it's wrong. So the plant here needs water, sunlight, air, soil, and nutrients. And now with the third challenge, we have to classify these items into two main groups. Is it a plant part or a plant need? Let's review them one more time. We have here some plant parts and we have there some plant needs. Let's classify them and sort them one by one. I'm going to start by the space. Do you think the space is a plant part or plant needs? Perfect. I guess so. It must be a plant need. That's a space for the plant. Okay, the flower, what do you think? Perfect. The flower is the part of a plant. Okay. The next one, sunlight. Do you think the sunlight, is it a plant part or a plant need? Just think. Yes, it's important for the plant parts, but it's not a plant part. It's a plant need. So we fill it there. The next one, leaves. Yes, these are plant parts. The following one here is water. I know it's important, but also it's a plant need. The next one here, roots. The roots are from the plant parts. The next one here is the stem. So where to put it? In the plant parts or the plant needs? Yes, perfect. It's a plant part. The following one here is the soil. Kindly keep in mind, the soil is important for the plant, but it's not a plant part. It's the place where we put the plant, so we fill it there. And the final one there is the air. It has only one location, which is a plant need. We need to check our answers to make sure all of them are correct. Let's submit answers. Give yourself a big hand. You did a great job. You did a great job in the previous activity. And now let's study the function of each part of the plant to make sure we can solve the upcoming questions easily, and also we can get high score in the upcoming challenges. Here is the first part. It's found underground or it's found in the soil. Which part do you think? Just remind me. Amazing. The roots. The roots of the plant are found underground. What do you think is the function of the plant roots? Just look here and tell me. These are the roots and they are taking something from the soil to give it to the plant. What do you think is this? Is it water? Yes, but not only. If you said water, that's correct. If you said water and nutrients, that's a model answer. The roots of plant are responsible for absorbing water and nutrients because the plant needs that to stay alive. As you see there, the roots have little hairs around every part of the roots. Look, has little hairs around. These parts known as root hairs. So what are the root hairs? The tiny hairs of the roots, and they are important because if we have many root hairs, that allows the plant to absorb much more water and much more nutrients. So extra root hairs, extra water and nutrients. Did you get it? Let's pass to the next part. The next part here is the stem, the plant stem. Can you just mention the location of the stem? Yes, it's here. That's the plant stem here, this part. So what do you think is the function of the stem? The roots down have water and they must give it to the other plant parts. Can this water pass from roots upward to leaves, just like that, without passage? Actually, no. So the stem is really important in taking the water from the roots, giving it to the upper parts of plants, which are leaves, flowers, and so on. So the stem here actually is a kind of transporting system, or it's a kind of delivery. It delivers the water from the roots upward to the other plant parts. Let's see what happens inside the stem deeply. Here in the stem, the water is moving from roots to be distributed all over plant parts. And I need you to take a look there, here in this image. Just look. These are the water that are moving from roots upward to the plant. They are moving inside tiny tubes inside the stem. So the stem is a big tube, has inside small tubes. Look, that's a small tube. This is another small tube. This is another small tube. Look. So the stem is a big tube, has inside smaller tubes. Look, that's a smaller tube, or tiny tubes inside the stem are taking the water from the roots to distribute them all over the plant parts. Did you get it? Let's keep going. So finally, we are in the plant leaves. This is the last station. So the plant leaves are responsible for taking some needs for the plant as well, which are sunlight and the carbon dioxide from the air. One more time, the plant leaves are responsible for taking two needs for the plant. The first one, the sunlight, because it's exposed to the sunlight the whole day, and also it takes the carbon dioxide from the air. That's the gas that the plant needs for the photosynthesis process. So here, the leaves under microscope look like that. Look, it seems like they have green pigments inside. The word pigment means color. So the color of the leaves, which is green, actually it's the color of something smaller inside the leaves. So we have leaves, and inside these leaves there are little particles, little smaller parts inside the leaf have green color. This green color known as chlorophyll. Chlorophyll. So the chlorophyll, it's the green color or the green pigment inside the leaves. So if we can take a look to the shape of the leaf, and we have the ability to zoom in under microscope, we're gonna see these particles. Do you see them? The green discs inside. So these green discs inside the leaves known as chloroplasts. So the leaf has chloroplast. The chloroplast is the little discs inside. These little discs carry the green pigment, which is chlorophyll. So one more time, which is bigger here? The leaf. The leaf is the biggest thing. So we have leaf, and inside the leaf we have green discs. What's the name of these green discs? Chloroplast. Amazing. Chloroplasts. So the leaf carries chloroplasts, and the chloroplasts are carrying the green pigments, which is the chlorophyll. Why this is important for the plant leaves? Because actually these are the discs that are responsible for taking the sunlight with the carbon dioxide, besides the water that is coming from the plant stem and roots, to cook the food of the plant. The plant makes its own food, as we know, photosynthesis. So from where the plant gets water? From the soil. The roots are taking water for the plant from the soil. Okay, what's the function of the stem? It elevates the water upward, so the leaves can take the water. Okay, the plant still needs sunlight and carbon dioxide. That's enough for leaves. The leaves are taking sunlight and carbon dioxide. Then the plant will be able to create its own food. So the income that goes to the plant leaves, sunlight absorbed by the green pigment inside, which is the chlorophyll that carried by the chloroplast inside the leaves. Carbon dioxide also, it goes into the leaves by tiny holes here known as stomata. We're gonna watch the stomata later on, don't worry. And finally, the water that is coming from the plant roots and stem and so on. So why the plant leaves need sunlight, carbon dioxide, and water? Perfect. It cooks its own food. It creates its own food. it makes its own food by these ingredients. These are the ingredients that the leaf needs to cook for itself. When the leaf cooks its own food, when it creates its own food, this food known as glucose. The glucose, it's a kind of sugar. That's the food of the plant. But besides the glucose sugar, there is another item comes out, which is oxygen gas. Now I guess you understand why the plant produces oxygen. Because the plant makes photosynthesis process. It takes sunlight, carbon dioxide, water, then it produces glucose. It's a food for the plant, and oxygen. And this oxygen is really important for us, for the animals, for the whole world. I guess right now you got it. You might be wondering right now why the leaves are responsible for taking the carbon dioxide from the air and producing the oxygen. And how does this happen? Why this happen and how does this happen? Let's take a look carefully. You see the green leaves of the plants like that. But when we zoom in under microscope, we can see these little holes. Do you see them? Do you see these tiny holes on the leaves? They are found on the lower surface of the leaf. So the tiny and small holes that are carried on the lower surface of the plant leaves known as stomata. The stomata or the plant tiny holes that are carried on the lower surface of the leaf. They are responsible for taking the carbon dioxide. This is where the carbon dioxide goes in and the oxygen goes out. So these are the places responsible for the gas exchanging during the photosynthesis process. And I guess right now you got it. So let's pass to the next activity. And now let's play a game to make sure you catch that photosynthesis correctly. In front of you in this activity, some ingredients down. Some of them are income, the others are outcome. We need just to label them correctly. So would you please help me? Let's get started. The sunlight, where to put it? Just mention the location. You mean here? Let's make sure. Perfect. What's the upcoming one here? It's water. Where is the location of the plant part that is responsible for taking the water? Yes, it's there. Perfect. Let's make sure. Great. What about the upcoming one? The oxygen gas. Is it income or outcome? Just think. Income or outcome. The plant needs a gas and it produces a different gas, but which one of them is an income gas and which one of them is the outcome gas? The one that goes inside the plant is the carbon dioxide. Yes, it's not the oxygen. So the oxygen is not here, it's there. It's the gas that comes out. And the carbon dioxide, it's the gas that comes in. So when we click on the oxygen, we're gonna find it there. That's the outcome gas that comes out of the leaves after the photosynthesis process. And then the carbon dioxide, this is gonna be here because actually the carbon dioxide is in the income gas. Finally, the glucose. You need just to tell me what does it mean glucose? Food of the plant? Okay, because actually this is gonna be the plant food. Give yourself a big hand.
Amazing!
So this is just a summary about the previous part. The photosynthesis process, it's the process by which the plant makes its own food. It takes some of the ingredients, some of the plant needs, like the sunlight, like the carbon dioxide, to produce sugar and oxygen. So this is a summary about the plant parts and plant needs together. Here, the roots are responsible for absorbing the water from the soil. The stem is responsible for transporting the water and nutrients from the lower parts of the plant to the upper parts of the plant, and the leaves are responsible for taking the sunlight and carbon dioxide to make photosynthesis process, and finally the flower. The flower is responsible for reproduction in plants. We're gonna study the reproduction later on, but keep in mind right now the reproduction means getting a new plant. Getting a new plant, but it's gonna be a baby plant. Seed grows up into a new plant. The last part of today's topic gonna be a question. You need to answer this question correctly, then we pass to the next part, which is gonna be full of games and activities, amazing challenges. So let's get started. The question here in front of you, some seeds. Can they grow up without soil or no? Maybe they cannot grow up without water. The water is an essential need for the plant. It's really important for the plant. Also, they cannot grow up without sunlight. They cannot make photosynthesis process. So if they cannot grow up without sunlight, that means the sunlight is important. Water is important. But they are highly important. They are extremely important. These are essential needs. Sunlight, carbon dioxide, and water. These are essential needs. The plant cannot grow up without them. But what about the soil? I know it's important, but is it essential need of the plant? If it's essential need, that means these seeds will not grow up. But if the plant can grow up without them, that means the soil may be important but non-essential need. It's not really important for the plant. It's not extremely important. The plant can grow up without them. So let's watch this video and then determine, is it essential or non-essential need? What is it? The soil. Here, no soil. We have just pieces of tissues. So the plant can grow up without them or cannot. Let's discover together. Look here what happens. The seeds start to growing. Look at the roots. The roots start to growing from the plant seeds like that because they are absorbing water. How amazing is that? It seems like they can grow without soil. The soil may be important, but it's not essential need for the plant. It's non-essential need. Look there, how beautiful they are. Here is the final result. Look, we have roots here, and this part will be the stem. Look here, and this part, you can watch the leaves right now. Look, these are the leaves. It's there. Now, it seems obvious. Finally, we have a complete plant without soil. That means the soil is non-essential need for the plant. And now we have a new game. Let's play it. But here we need to differentiate between basic needs and non-basic needs. The basic needs are the essential needs of plants. The non-basic needs are the non-essential needs of plants. These are just synonyms. Let's try to classify them. The air, what do you think? Is it basic or non-basic need? Amazing. The air is a basic need of the plant. What about the nutrients? So it might be basic need. The soil, I guess you remember from the previous activity, the soil is not a basic need for the plant. Okay, the oxygen, perfect, amazing. The oxygen is a product. It comes out, not a need. Okay, the forest, that's a place, it could be different, so it's not basic need. The sunlight, this is essential need. The sunlight is the most important thing for the plant here. Water, no living organism can survive without water. So the final item there gonna be the sugar. So what do you think gonna happen when we submit answers here? Perfect. All of them correct answers. Don't worry about the activities and games. You're gonna find all of them in the comments below. Just search for them. I have new challenges for the students of Primary 5 in this year. At the end of every lesson, we have activities bundle or resources pack. It's gonna be full of games and activities. You can do them in home, anywhere, and you're gonna find all of them here in the comments below the video. Let's find out the final assessment, which is gonna be our first challenge. You need to search for these words here in this area. You need to read the word and pick it up from this area. Can you get all of them? If you can get all of them, just when you finish this activity, take a screenshot and send it back to me in the comments below. The next game that I have for you is crosswords. You might know how to play crosswords, but let me explain it one more time. Here, you have to find some words to fill them down letter by letter. But from where can we bring words? From the answers of these questions below. For example, number 2 here, flat green parts of plants makes food. So you mean leaf? Yes. So what's the number here? It's 2. down. So 2 down. If it's correct answer, you're gonna find it suits these places. So leaf, L-E-A-F, L-E-A-F. So you need to fill it down. When you fill down all words in this maze, send me back a screenshot of your score because you're gonna be rewarded by a new gift. The final gift for today's topic gonna be code breaker, a message, but this message is hidden there. You need to translate these hidden letters into real letters to give me a message. Let me help you. For example, this symbol here, which looks like the heart, where is it? It's here. So what's the opposite letter? It's H. So we're gonna come here and write in this square H. You have to add this letter here. Then translate the upcoming code, which is gonna be this shape, but it's here, Mr. Seif. There is no letter here. You need to search for this letter. But how can I do it? The letters there are written in a sequence. For example, the second letter here is B, after that C, D, E. So this is the alphabet sequence. So the first letter here gonna be A, B, C, D, E, and so on. So when you find out what's the hidden letter here, you need to fill it down. When you finish all of these statements, you're gonna be receiving a message. Don't hesitate to send me the message because you have a huge gift to receive if you just send me the message of this code breaker. And finally, don't forget to make like, subscribe for my YouTube channel if you didn't make yet, and see you the next time. Goodbye.